Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Siobhan Bonnie Patterson. I'm a founder, CEO, personal trainer, life coach, light worker, ADHD mom with all the wisdom in the world that a 36-year-old woman could have from doing all of those things. So today I want to share with you my experience as an entrepreneur using TurboTax. So for those of you that don't know me, I just told you what I do, but who I am is someone who just has a passion to serve and to help as many people reach their full potential. Mainly, I work with women. I started off as a personal trainer and started doing a lot of life coaching with them. And through the process of personal training and life coaching, I just saw women become more confident and achieve their goals. And so anything that I learn, I always try to teach others so that they can do the same thing. So let's hop right in. TurboTax. So as a single mom, and I was a server for years and had two dependents, I would always use TurboTax to file my taxes. And this worked out perfectly fine for me. Like I would always get anywhere between 3 grand and 5 grand. And I think during one of the stimulus years or recession or something, I got 8 grand. Could I have gotten more? Probably. I see those signs on the side of the road that are like, oh, 8,000 per kid or just craziness, but I never wanted to chance it. I always knew that at least if I did it through TurboTax, it made sense. And they, like whatever, I know that I did it versus me getting in trouble because someone else did it and I don't know what they did. So if you are single and you work a regular job and you don't want to like go by with one of these fly by night tax services and you also don't want to spend an insane amount of money to hire an accountant, that makes the most sense, or H&R Block or whatever people do. But now that I'm a business owner, I've had my LLC since 2020. So I've had the LLC for 3 years, been basically an entrepreneur since 2018. And here's what I learned. So the very first year that I decided to file my taxes, which is 2021, I reached out to a friend of mine's husband because I knew that he worked at an accounting firm. I knew that it was going to cost a lot of money, but I was fully prepared to pay it because I'd rather, it's my first business. Like I don't know anything about business taxes. So it just made the most sense to me to go that route. Did that. It was a little embarrassing because I didn't have any sort of formal set up for my taxes. It was a hot mess. I actually had one of my former clients who ended up becoming a co-founder for my company, Mind and Body. She had to come in and reconcile all of my expenses from the entire year. And yeah, so that took a lot. It was very exhausting for everybody, but they got me about 3 grand back that year. And their fee for doing that was $1,000. I think they also like did some accounting for us throughout the year. So that was $1,000 to have the professionals prepare it, and they got me back what I used to be able to get back on my own with TurboTax. Really didn't have any complaints. The next year, which is 2022, this previous year, was it? Did I have them 2 years? Yeah, they did my 2020 and my 2021 tax return. Now for 2022, for many of us, like that year was a lot slower as far as finances. And so going into this year, I was like, you know what? Let me cut costs. I've really been paying attention to expenses, unnecessary expenses. So we decided to get rid of them. I had a friend who does the fly by night. That's not nice. But he's like, yo, I'm doing taxes this year. And I'm like, say word. Like, yo, I'm going to ditch these people that are charging $1,000 and I'm going to go to my homeboy. Big mistake. I don't want to throw him under the bus, so I'm not going to say his name, but this is what my experience was like not working with professionals. Okay. So, not working with professionals, what ended up happening was, first of all, like it was not seamless. Communication was spotty. I'm used to, as a business owner, I'm used to people being a little more prompt, a little bit more communicative. And so he would not get back to me right away. It would take like several days, if not like a week or two, for him to get back to me and my team. They weren't asking for all of the same stuff. Like, where's your Like, I wasn't getting asked for a lot of the same things that I was getting asked when we worked with professionals. So that was a little suspicious. And then months would go by and I'm sitting here trying to like apply for certain things for my family, for our benefits, and they needed to see my business income tax return. And granted, I did file late, but it was like April, May, and they still hadn't gotten me my return back yet. And I just remember messaging him like, hey, are y'all gonna get that? Yeah, we're gonna get that. And I was like, can I at least get a copy? of the like what you have done so far so I can start showing it to people so I can start getting the benefits that I need so they can see what I made last year. And like he's like, yeah, my boy's working on it. He'll get to you. Long story short, the boy never got to me. He never sent me a top copy of my taxes. When they finally did tell me, oh yeah, we got you $700 back. And I was like, $700? I was like, that's it? It's like, dang, that sucks. And he's like, yeah, and we had to do a lot of finagling or whatever. And I was like, shit, well, all right. And then they never followed through with it. And finally, I was like, dude, if you guys don't give me a copy that you've actually done my work, I'm just going to go somewhere else. And they didn't respond for like 2 weeks or for like a week. And then finally, I was like, hey, I'm out. And he's like, oh no. And so I have a feeling that maybe taking on a business account was more than they had anticipated. And so he just didn't have the balls, I guess, to tell me. I don't know. I have no idea. Not mad at him, just a little disappointed. And then that just pushed everything back for me. So finally, I go on to TurboTax. And I'm like, all right, I guess I got to do this myself. So then I log into TurboTax as a business owner. And it took me like less than 5 minutes to realize I'm not doing this. This is too, oh my God, this is a lot of fucking work. So I clicked hire an expert. And so we did that. We ended up hiring an expert. And the first person that came on, I thought that this was a sign that she was really experienced, but now I'm realizing it may be a sign that she is trying to overcompensate because she told me everything, every step, way too many details. I'd ask one question about taxes and I just needed a yes or a no. And she would give me the whole like book explanation, textbook explanation. And I thought, wow, this lady's super knowledgeable. And what it may have been is that she was trying to prove how knowledgeable she was because my boys said they got me $700 back. This woman said I owed $2,000. $2,000. So obviously I'm a little panicked now because I'm used to getting grands back, not owing the government $2,000 as a single mom and as a business owner. Like the math wasn't mathing. So what I ended up doing was I was like, what happened? She's like, well, you spent $20,000 less on expenses. I'm like, no, the hell we didn't. So then that caused me to have to go into my numbers and really check and make sure that we itemize and that we like put everything that we spent money on. And so once I did that, she's like, okay, now you only owe $500. And I was like, oh my God. For any business owners, the thing that really was a game changer, what helped me bring those numbers down was the fact that I wasn't claiming like the fees that I was paying for transactions like Stripe, PayPal, all these payment processors. Even if you're using your bank to process credit card transactions, those fees are taxable. Also, my son, who did ample amount of work for me, and was also getting paid an allowance. The business was paying him, right? Because I don't really like the business is my only source of income. So as a business owner, one, you should be hiring your kids and paying your kids. That was a game changer and a saver, like a lifesaver for me. And two, going back and getting all of those fees that I didn't know were existent. So make sure that you go back and if you have kids, make sure that this year you bring your kids on and you hire them to do small stuff, an assistant, personal assistant, whatever you want them to be. That was a game changer. And then going back and finding any fees that you may have just gotten used to paying. Nah, that counts. And that brought me down to only getting or no longer owing and getting back $124. Luckily for me, my mom was not with the dumb shit. And my mom, who is a business manager and she does taxes and finances for corporations, she's like, that doesn't sound right. Like, how are you? She knows more than me. She's like, based off of this and based off of that, your taxable income's only this. And you basically like you were in the negatives because your company spent more money, like you didn't make a profit. So how do you owe taxes? And I was like, I don't know. They just said I owed you. My mom said, yeah, absolutely not. We called TurboTax, got on the phone with them. They were trying to convince me that, well, first of all, they wouldn't show me. They will not show you what they do with your information. So I don't know what he's filing. And because my mom knows how to do it, she's like, I want to check his work. And they're like, well, you get to do that after we, file it for you. Because they're like, because technically you could just do it on your own. And then, like if we show you your paperwork first and you haven't paid for it, then you could just, steal our work and then file it on your own. And I was like, yeah, that's true, but it costs $400 to have a TurboTax expert do your taxes. And then if I'm only getting $100 back, I'm like, I'd rather risk it and see what I could do on my own. So this whole ordeal of getting my taxes done as an entrepreneur started, I think I started looking into filing like around February, March or something. Realized in May, my homeboy was not going to be able to do it for me, was traveling a lot during the summer. So I wasn't able to sit down and do it myself on TurboTax until June. Got crazy information from the first lady that did it. She passed me down to another dude at TurboTax. He's like, I got you $100 back. And I'm like, what? This is a guy that had 21 years tax experience. And then my mom, right? My mom, who's not a CPA, but who does taxes and finances for businesses, we went on the free tax website and were there for less than 10 minutes, and she got me $3,000 back. We didn't even have to answer the majority of the questions. Once we put in profit and loss numbers, head of household, and just a few other key details, they're like, yeah, this woman gets paid back money, not owes back money. So in conclusion, the conclusion to this, what you should do as a business owner, if you want to cut costs somewhere, don't cut them like, don't try to, hold on. If you're going to try to cut costs, like don't do it with your taxes. Let someone who can like go to the free tax website and try to do it on your own first and see what happens. And if you get a good amount, great. But like TurboTax for businesses, my mom said they didn't have a good reputation. I didn't believe her. They'd always gotten me back money as a single mom. Didn't work out so well as a business owner. So my advice to you is to do it on your own. I use QuickBooks throughout the year. It's connected to my Chase bank account. So all the transactions go over there. You just have to go and itemize them and tell them this is an expense for this is that, this is a donation, this is blah, blah, blah. And then it will generate a profit and loss statement for you, which you will then just take over to the free tax website and enter the questions that they ask you. And if you need guidance, I may have my mom come back and we may do a little video to teach you guys that too. If you would like that video, drop a comment and let me know if that's something that would be valuable to you about how we were able to go from owing $2,000 to getting back 3. So I hope that this is helpful for you. If you enjoy the sound of my voice or the way that I teach or talk, I have a podcast on this channel. It's called The Boss Life with Bonds, and you can watch it here on YouTube or you can listen to it on Apple Podcast or Spotify. In addition, I'm kind of an Instagram nut. I love creating content. You can follow me over there at Siobhan Bonds, and I'll put that in the caption as well. I'll also drop the website, the free tax website that you can go to file your taxes. And if there's any other links that I can think of after I end this, I will drop them down below for you. See you guys next time. Oh yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm new to this, guys.